In his garage, Charlie works on a plane gifted by his wife Sarah for his birthday. She interrupts to say she's heading to a business conference in London and invites him again, but he declines due to work. Later, Charlie arrives at CIA HQ and heads to decryption and analysis, passing through his own security inventions. Suddenly, a message comes from Inquiline, a mysterious long-time contact, offering new classified intel. This time, she warns it's dangerous and could harm the CIA. Charlie guesses her location, Istanbul. But she dismisses it. He analyzes the files but struggles to crack the code. After lunch, Sarah calls. She's arrived in London, but he already knows. He's been tracking her. They speak briefly before he returns to work, moving to a restricted system to process the intel faster. Eventually, he unlocks the files and is shocked. They reveal a drone strike disguised as a suicide bombing, covered up by the CIA. News footage confirms 150 casualties, including French and Danish forces. The op was authorized by Chief Moore, Charlie's boss. That night, he tries calling Sarah, but she doesn't answer. He leaves a voicemail. The next day, Moore brings Charlie to meet O'Brien, the new CIA director. She informs him of a terrorist attack at a London hotel. Sarah was among the victims. Charlie doesn't believe it, but Moore shows the news: 4 terrorists, 4 hostages, 2 killed. Security footage confirms Sarah is one of the dead. Back home, Charlie finds media swarming outside. A friend helps him inside. The next day, he confronts Moore and supervisor Caleb. He's suspicious. He doubts the terrorists could have bypassed London's surveillance, especially in traffic. Moore assures him there's an investigation, but Caleb sends him home. Charlie later picks up Sarah's body and belongings. At home, he finds a gift she'd bought for him and breaks down. Wanting answers, he hacks hotel and street cameras using a restricted terminal. He pieces together a timeline. The terrorists stole a car in East End, entered the hotel via service access, and erased all traces. They met with Impact Investments from Indonesia, but an argument broke out. A security guard got angry, prompting one of the terrorists to open fire, killing one and critically injuring another. Hotel security immediately alerted the police. Trying to escape unnoticed, the terrorists rushed into a conference room and took hostages. Sarah was captured for trying to help others flee. Charlie used voice and facial recognition to identify the 4 attackers. Mishka from Moscow, Lawrence, a former South African Special Forces, Horst the mercenary, and ex-intel officer Gretchen. Seeing Moore and Caleb unfazed, Charlie realizes they already knew. They claim it's under control and send him to therapy. The next day, Charlie hides a chip in his badge and slips past security. At his desk, he prints classified files and uses a skimmer to make a digital copy. That night, he visits a bar and stares at a jukebox, lost in thought. In the morning, he confronts his superiors with the files, listing Moore's crimes, including bombing a Syrian hospital and a base in Yemen, killing thousands. He threatens to leak everything unless given full CIA training, fake IDs, money, a weapon, and intel on Sarah's killers. He's set up a dead man switch. Every 5 hours he must enter a code, or the evidence goes public. After the meeting, he vomits from stress. Moore calls his bluff, but Caleb warns it's risky. They'll look for the trigger and plan an accident during training. Later, Caleb's team suspects a printer skimmer and confirms Charlie bought a magnetic strip, though it's unclear how he smuggled it. They search Charlie's home and trace him to a bar. Inside the jukebox, they find an ABBA CD. When played, it's just noise, confirming it's a decoy. Meanwhile, Charlie reaches a CIA training site. Colonel Henderson greets him and tests his shooting skills. Charlie struggles. But when building explosives, he excels, impressing Henderson. Next, he's pushed hard to memorize a fake identity under pressure. They finalize his fake passports. That night, Henderson tells Charlie he's not a killer. Charlie insists on justice. Henderson hands him a gun, asking him to aim. Charlie's hands tremble and he lowers it. Back at HQ, agents decode the CD and find out Charlie lied about the dead man switch. They alert Moore, unaware Charlie bugged the files. He listens in and escapes just before Moore tells Henderson to arrest him. Moore finds the bug and accuses Charlie of treason. Charlie removes his earpiece and heads to the airport. Arriving in London, he clears customs and travels to Paris. His fake ID flags in the system, prompting Moore to send Henderson after him. Charlie rents a hotel room near a restaurant Gretchen frequents. Once she shows up, He starts tracking her phone and waits outside her apartment until she leaves. When a tenant steps out, Charlie sneaks into the building and uses an online tutorial to pick Gretchen's lock. Inside, he takes photos of her schedule and finds a gun, which he keeps. Suddenly, his tracker alerts him, Gretchen is returning. He hides by the stairs but freezes when she arrives. Unable to shoot, he returns to the hotel, imagining Sarah waiting for him. Later, he inspects the photos and learns Gretchen visits the hospital often. After hacking her records, he discovers she has severe allergies. The next day, he buys flowers and follows her to the hospital. While Gretchen undergoes tests, the doctor steps out due to a faulty screen. Charlie, disguised as a doctor, locks her in the chamber and fills it with pollen. She panics, but he demands Horst's location in exchange for help. Unable to speak, she fights back when he opens the door. After a violent struggle, she escapes, only to be hit by a car outside. Charlie grabs her phone and flees. At his hotel, Charlie washes off the blood, packs up, and takes a bus to Marseille. The CIA learns of Gretchen's death. Moore claims it was an inside job. That night, Charlie drinks alone, haunted by guilt. He thinks he sees Sarah, but it's a look-alike. Spotting Henderson, Charlie panics and runs. He hides in another bar, but Henderson finds him. Trapped, Charlie joins him, reveals a timer on his phone, and escapes just before a bathroom bomb goes off. With his tracker disabled, Charlie contacts Inquiline and flies to Turkey. In Istanbul, he meets a woman at a restaurant. She's Inquiline. She knows about Sarah and tells him to shop for a while before meeting again at a garage. Later, she takes him to her home, sharing her story. Her husband, the original Inquiline, died while working for both CIA and Russian intelligence. Now she lives in hiding, tired of running. They discuss the case. Horst leads Moore's mercs, Lawrence is an arms dealer, and Mishka overshares online. They identify a woman in Mishka's photos and trace her to Spain. The next day, Caleb tells his team to track the terrorists. O'Brien confronts Moore about unauthorized black ops. Later, her assistant shows her proof that Henderson is in Spain, so she sends her own agent. Charlie and Inquiline locate Mishka via hotel cameras. Charlie travels to Madrid and checks into the same hotel. He learns Mishka swims in a rooftop pool. Henderson is nearby. The next day, Charlie builds a trap device and hides it. He follows Mishka to the bar but notices a familiar face. He's being followed. He alerts Inquiline via earpiece. She identifies the man as a CIA agent. Inquiline spots Henderson on the camera and urges Charlie to abort, but he insists on continuing. When Mishka enters the pool, Charlie confronts him and threatens to destroy it unless he reveals Horst's location. Mishka dismisses the threat and swims away, so Charlie triggers the device. The glass shatters, and Mishka falls to his death as water floods the street. Inquiline warns Charlie that agents are closing in. A chase begins. Henderson nearly catches him, but another agent intervenes and fights Henderson in the laundry room. They brutally clash until the agent shoots Henderson. Henderson retaliates, and Charlie walks in, unsure if he should help. Inquiline reminds him to escape. The next day, O'Brien questions Moore about Charlie. He lies, claiming Charlie's on bereavement leave. O'Brien then reveals she has hotel footage. Caleb and his team also review footage and uncover encrypted chats with Inquiline. They identify the original Inquiline as a deceased agent, guessing his wife took over. That night, Charlie and Inquiline sleep beside each other for comfort but are awakened by screeching birds. Agents are coming. They escape through a secret tunnel and dodge a drone by sneaking through nearby buildings. The house is raided, but the files have already been wiped. On the beach, they reach Inquiline's car, spotted by the drone. Agents give chase, by land and sea, and open fire. The car is eventually disabled, and Inquiline is fatally shot. Charlie moves her to the passenger seat and drives off, finally shaking the pursuers. He leaves the car in a garage and tearfully says goodbye. Charlie contacts Lawrence, posing as an arms dealer to set a meeting. He then buys new electronics and heads to Romania. In an abandoned building, he records his face and hacks a Berlin security feed, tricking the CIA into thinking he's there. When Lawrence arrives, he finds a ringing phone and a box of bombs. Charlie appears and demands Horst's location, promising to deactivate the bombs if he cooperates. Lawrence reveals Horst operates in Russian waters and uses a Baltic seaport. Contact is made via coded messages through his men, and Lawrence's phone holds the details. Charlie takes the phone and walks out, then hears the bombs go off. The CIA realizes the Berlin feed was fake. Meanwhile in Russia, Charlie imagines Sarah and opens her gift. a puzzle with a hidden message. The next morning, he scouts the port, identifies a suspicious vehicle, sends a message to Horst's men, and tails a man to a boat. He later traces the yacht via registration and maps Horst's sea routes. While approaching the yacht the next morning, Charlie is ambushed and drops Sarah's puzzle. On board, he meets Horst, who found the bomb Charlie had planted. Horst believes Charlie can't kill face-to-face and hands him a gun. Charlie refuses. Suddenly, the yacht changes direction. Charlie reveals he's hacked it, since he wrote its security protocols, and it's now heading to Finland. The Finnish Navy and Interpol arrive, arresting Horst and his men. Later, O'Brien holds a press conference confirming the arrest of rogue CIA operatives. Henderson approaches Charlie, proud of his actions. After visiting Sarah's grave, Charlie finally repairs and flies the birthday plane she gave him.